everyone. Um, we're going to give the rectangular coordinates for each of these polar coordinates. So we're converting from polar coordinates to rectangular coordinates. Remember, polar coordinates are r, comma, theta, where r is your radius. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to use the fact that cosine of theta equals x divided by r, and sine of theta equals y divided by r. Therefore, x equals r cosine of theta, and y equals r sine of theta, and therefore we'll get our x and our y. So that's all we have to do, and we'll start with the first one. So we know that x equals r, let's see. So it's going to be r cosine of theta. So this is going to equal 4 cosine of 120. And so this is going to be 4 times negative 1/2, which equals negative 2. And then for your y, you're going to get y equals 4 sine of 120. And that's going to equal 4 times square root of 3 divided by 2, which equals 2 square root of 3. So your ordered pair, your rectangular coordinates are going to be negative 2, comma 2 square root of 3. Okay, so for the next one, we're doing this one. So we have x equals negative 3 cosine of 90 degrees, and y equals negative 3 sine of 90 degrees. Well, cosine of 90 is 0, so you get negative 3 times 0, which equals negative 3. And sine of 90 is 1, so you get y equals negative 3 times 1, which is equals negative 3. This equals 0, sorry. So when you do your ordered pair, it's going to be 0, comma, negative 3. And the next one, I think the rest you can kind of do on your own. But the next one's going to be x equals cosine 1 times cosine of 5 pi divided by 6. And y equals sine of 5 pi divided by 6. So this is going to equal negative square root of 3 divided by 2. And this one is 1/2. So your ordered pair is negative square root of 3 divided by 2, comma 1/2. All right, the next one is this one. So we're going to get x equals 2 cosine of 3 pi divided by 4. Y equals 2 times sine of 3 pi divided by 4. So this gives you 2 times square root of 2 divided by 2, and this is going to be negative in quadrant 3, or quadrant 2. And this one's going to be the same thing, but it's positive. Square root of 2 divided by 2. So these two cancel, and our ordered pair would be negative square root of 2, comma, square root of 2. Because these cancel. All right, and then the rest of them is very similar. So you have x equals 2 cosine of 225 degrees. Y equals 2 times sine of 225 degrees. So for this one, you're going to get 2 times negative square root of 2 divided by 2. And this one's going to be 2 times the negative square root of 2 divided by 2. These cancel. So your rectangular coordinates are negative square root of 2, comma, negative square root of 2. And this one, we're going to have x equals 5 cosine of negative 30 degrees. And this one's going to be y equals 5. Make sure. I think this should be a 6 here. So let's change those to 6s. I knew something was a little wrong. Change those to 6s. And this would be cosine of negative 30 degrees. This one's sine, sorry. All right, and that's going to give you equals 6 times cosine of square root of 3 divided by 2. And this one's going to be equals 6. Sine of negative 130 is going to be negative 1/2. So 2 goes into, well, let's figure this one out first. So this is going to be, this is not cosine. So 2 goes into that 3 times. So we're going to get 3 square root of 3. And this one's just going to equal negative 3. So your ordered pair is 3 square root of 3 and negative 3. All right. And the next one, we have x equals 10 cosine of negative 3 pi divided by 2, and y equals 10 times sine of negative 3 pi divided by 2. Well, this equals 0 and this equals 1. So 10 times 0 is just 0. 10 times 1 is just 1. So your ordered pair, or it's going to be 10. So your ordered pair is 0, 10. This is just 10 times 1. And then for the last one, we're going to get x equals negative 4 cosine of pi divided by 3, and y equals negative 4 sine of pi divided by 3. So this is going to equal negative 4 times 1/2. This equals negative 4 times square root of 3 divided by 2. So this is x and y. So your ordered pair, this goes into 2 times. That's going to be negative 2. And your y is negative 2 square root of 3. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.